Shalom, just give us a little time. We're gonna get started here in a bit. All right, y'all be patient with us. You know, all praise to the Most High. Yeah. All praise. Hallelujah.
Okay, ready. Almost.
Had to do some sharing. Everybody share, like and share. All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High God Yahweh. And we do so in the name of his only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. My name is Mawakad, and to my left,
Nathaniel Allah.
Khan.
This week's Torah portion, we finished with Exodus last week, and now we're starting in the book of Leviticus.
The Levitical priesthood.
Okay, this week's portion is Vayikra, roughly, which means and he calls. So we're going to be reading about the priests, the Levitical priests, tribe of Levi, which are the Haitians today, and their priestly duties. We'll be reading from Leviticus, the first chapter, starting from the first verse, going all the way over to Leviticus, the 5th chapter, and stopping at verse 26.
Cool.
The half Torah portion we're reading is Samuel, 1 Samuel, the 15th chapter, basically the whole chapter 1 through 35. Okay, in the Brit Kadash, which is also known as the New Testament portion, reading about Yahushua HaMashiach. We will be reading in Matthew, the 5th chapter, verses 23 to verse 30. So we'll be reading about the burnt offerings, the grain offerings, different offerings for well-being, peace offerings, sin offerings, and offerings with restitution to be made to the tabernacle, which the Levitical priests were over and ran. The sons of Aharon basically did the priestly duties as far as the daily sacrifices, as far as making atonement for the nation and for individual people, depending on their sins. Okay, so that's what we'll be reading about. And then in the half Torah portion, we'll be reading about King Saul and how he transgressed the commandment of the Most High by not doing what he was told to do by the prophet Samuel, who gave him the instruction from the Most High. So this week's rant, well, top story, by all accounts, would be the murderous rampage, the mayhem that took place in New Zealand when you had a so-called white man who was a white supremacist basically go on a killing spree at a mosque. And what's even more crazy about it is that he did a GoPro video. Why I say GoPro? Because he had a helmet on with a video camera filming the first person shooter, which was himself. Okay. The carnage is great, horrific. At first glance, you think you're looking at a video, but you realize later on that no, this is actually happening because you start to see blood around the different victims. You got that link?
No, I don't have a link. Who can find that link?
Go to WhatsApp. Go to WhatsApp. Go to Proverbs 27. The link is there, and see if you can take it from there and bring it to Proverbs 27. Are you on there?
Well, that's the name of the link?
No, that's the name. That's the name of the channel.
Oh, the channel
on WhatsApp.
Like the actual app, WhatsApp?
Yeah, the actual app, WhatsApp.
There's not the channel.
I got WhatsApp.
And what's interesting about this story is the different narratives. You have the narrative from the Prime Minister of New Zealand, and then you have Donald Trump's narrative here in America. While here in America, Donald Trump basically took the opportunity to minimize the actual incident and not actually associated with white nationalism or white supremacy or any type of white extremist group. He just basically put it just a few bad people that do bad things. But then he took the opportunity from there to basically make this whole issue about illegal immigration, illegal aliens here in America, about the border wall not being built, about millions of illegals crossing the border, okay, which is not true. All right. And to add further insult to the situation, the shooter, when he was brought into custody, basically made a statement thanking Donald Trump for the renewed energy and pride that he brings for white people. Okay, so you have a white supremacist acknowledging Donald Trump for the comments that he has made towards white supremacy. All right. And the prime minister in New Zealand basically condemned it as a white nationalist problem.
Okay.
All right. She called it for what it was, a white nationalist problem. But here in America, Donald Trump will never say that. Why won't he say that? Because that is his base. You have to understand that.
His base is mostly white people.
Right. His base is white people. Okay. You got a few white, black people on his coattail, but his base, let me explain that. The core of his base is white supremacy, okay, is white nationalism. The extremists, that's his core. The next level up from there would be the patriots, okay? Those white Americans that are patriotic towards America being restored as a democracy and, you know, republic, strong economy, this, that, and the third. And this is what they feel Donald Trump represents. So you have the patriots next level up from his core, which is the white nationalists, the extremists. Then up from that level, you have the white conservatives, okay? These are the Republicans and the conservatives that toe party line, good Christians, quote unquote, you know, moral values, biblical values, the evangelicals, party line representatives who represent or who believe in Donald Trump. Okay. Up from there, from the conservatives, you just basically have the fringe white people that are just going to vote for a white president. Okay.
Don't care what he does or what he represents.
Right. If he does anything for them, he's just white, and we gonna stand behind him. That's the poor white trash.
Traitor trash.
Traitor trash. Okay. They can be extremists. But for the most part, they're in their echelon because of their economical situation. All right.
They just going with their people. Period.
All right. And then up from there, you have our people that basically feel like, you know, he represents a change that's going to help the economy, and we'll get some crumbs if we vote for him. That's black people. And you can also lump the Mexicans that, you know, basically, you know, have been Americanized, have their citizenship, and, you know, basically sit at the table with white people, being the new labor force. And that's what the new Mexicans represents, the new labor force that is cheaper to pay than black people, who was once the labor force of America. Okay, the whole immigration, I mean, that's a lesson, but the long and short of it, the whole immigration here in America was brought into play, I would have to say, late mid 80s going into the 90s. Okay, because it was at that point we had the crack epidemic, and then they started to renew you know, the whole economical program here in America, but they didn't want to pay black people union wages. So that's when they brought in the Mexicans. Okay, Mexicans had always been here because they were the fruit pickers in California. Okay, so they had that industry locked down, but then they branched off into construction, and that's when you had a construction boom, and that's when, you know, white contractors specifically wanted Mexican workers. Okay, and black people basically X'd out of that field, period. All right, so long and short of it, it's a little bit more complicated, because now when you look at the caravans that are coming up to America trying to cross at the southern border, why are they coming up? Because American policies in their country, in South America, has decimated their country, okay, brought them to the brink of poverty, depression. This is why you have the problems in Venezuela. Venezuela's problems were brought on by Americans in that region, period. Okay, but America doesn't get the proper blame because this new generation doesn't understand old history, how things perpetuate and continue. Okay, they come in their generation and just see things the way it's happening now. But you got to understand what's happening now. You got to go back 10 years to understand what's happening then, because that's what leads us to what's happening now. Okay, so that's it on that. Quick, fast, in a hurry. Store closings. Okay.
Let's get on that.
Get on that. Okay. 99-cent only stores are in financial trouble.
99-cent store in financial trouble?
Yeah.
It's only 99 cents.
Yeah, but you know, their debt, expansion, you know, internal corruption probably. They're gonna be having to close stores. Okay, how many we don't know yet, but a significant number. Okay, Dave's Bridal Shop, they're shutting down. Why? Because people aren't getting married. Okay, the Mingtao movement. What is the Mingtao movement? That's basically men stepping away from the whole institution of marriage, because basically men are being railroaded by the institution of marriage, by the court systems, by the judicial systems, by the family court systems here in America. So they're stepping away from the whole institution of marriage. And the long and short of it is the American woman does not understand her role as a woman in the relationship with a man. Okay, you can blame the feminist movement for that. All right, long and short, I know it's a little, it's more detailed than that, but it's the Shabbat service, so we got to get to the Shabbat portion. Maybe during the week we might touch on that, but what other store? Okay, Save a Lot. I don't know how popular Save a Lot is out here, but I can tell you in the Midwest
And down south,
Save a Lot is very popular. Okay, very popular. They're gonna have to be closing a lot of stores. They might go bankrupt.
How about another store?
Okay.
Tesla.
You mean the motor company?
A motor company. They're closing all their stores.
You mean plants?
No, not the plants. They're closing all their lots.
Oh, okay. It's exclusively only Tesla lots.
Tesla is closing them all and selling all their cars online.
Smart.
They took out the middleman.
Sell it direct. So you basically going directly to the factory, picking your car out off the line, and then
online.
Oh yeah, when I say off the line, I mean the assembly line.
Okay.
And then from the assembly line, you go online, and then it gets delivered to you your doorstep. Okay, that's you know, that's the new generation.
Yeah.
Okay, no more brick and mortar for a lot of stores. Okay, Amazon effect. But Amazon effect is only to a certain point. The other effect is that the economy is in a down spiral. Because when you look at the global debt, it's like, what is it? I want to, no, it's in the trillions, but I want to say almost 200 trillion globally. Okay, America's debt is almost 22 trillion by itself. So you add that with the other countries, especially the European Union, that's why France is in an uproar. The people are rioting in the streets. Okay, the yellow vest movement. All right, Germany is in an uproar. Okay, Greece is in an uproar. So all those uproars that you see happening in the European Union is coming here. It is coming here. It is coming here.
Man.
Okay, and another point that you better take heed to. In the wake of the mayhem, carnage, and murder at the mosque over in New Zealand, you had globally mass marches and protests, peaceful protesters, mind you, of Muslims about this carnage that happened in New Zealand. keep in mind, when you look around the world at all these different peaceful protesters, you had African Muslims out there, you had Pakistani Muslims out there, you had Indian Muslims out there, and you had white Muslims out there protesting. Okay. This is the galvanizing. Okay, you better see for what it is. This is, get me Isaiah the 13th chapter. They shall turn to their own people.
Took that right.
Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna let you. Okay.
Now go ahead. You got it. You can go there. But you take it right out of it.
Right. Isaiah the 13th chapter. Okay. When all people shall turn back unto their own people and then flee back unto their own country. But here in America, this is all leading up to civil war. Okay, civil war in the streets of America. Whether you like it or not, whether you don't want to take sides, you're either gonna be hot or cold. Okay, cold ain't good for you. I can tell you that now. You want to be hot, okay, and you don't want to be lukewarm. Because if you lukewarm, the Most High said he's going to spew you out of his mouth because you ain't with it. You ain't about it. You ain't never been about it. You don't want to be about it for whatever reason. So it is what it is. Okay. You got that?
We want to start at 12 or?
Kind of to the meat, like all people, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Let me see.
Like you can put it in context if got it?
Almost.
All right. And then somebody get me the Most High has spirits of vengeance.
You sure it was Isaiah 13?
Let me look real quick.
It was, and everybody shall go to their own people, right?
Yeah. Hold up.
I was thinking of that same precept, but I was gonna look it up.
Right, 14. And it shall be as the chase roe, talking about the so-called white man, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people and flee everyone into his own land. Okay. We're at a galvanizing point here in the world.
Yeah, it was 13.
Okay. Isaiah 13, verse 14. The chase row is kind of more like would have probably pulled it up for you.
Yeah.
So what do we see happening around the world? Muslims are in an uproar. You better believe that. Okay. A report, somebody just made a comment who was speaking on it, said they don't kick the hornet's nest. Okay. They don't kick the hornet's nest. Because when you look at the sheer numbers of Muslims, they outnumber Christians. I don't know what the numbers are, by how many numbers, but it's more than 2. It's more than 2 to 1. I want to say almost like 7 to 1. I mean, you can probably look that up. What is the ratio of Muslim Christians?
Oh man.
I mean, our good friend Google could probably give us an answer.
What is the ratio of Muslims to Christians?
Yeah.
What is the ratio of Muslims to Christians?
It's
Nah, but it just gave me adherence to percentages. Christianity 2.4 billion and Islam 1.8 billion. So it's a 3 to 1 odd.
3 to 1. Yeah. Okay, 3 to 1. All right, but the key factor is that they're galvanizing. They're pulling in their ranks. They're tightening their security around all the mosques. But that being said, let's not forget the terrorism that happens here in America, that happened here in America to the black churchgoers down in South Carolina by that white boy. What was his name?
The one that took the Burger King?
Yeah, the one
Dylan Roof. Dylan Roof?
Yeah, Dylan Roof. Okay. The one they took to Burger King before they took him to jail. Okay.
That was a thank you.
Right.
That was a thank you.
Right. Got him a Happy Meal. Okay. So, and how many reports have you seen where they done stopped a white man in a station wagon that had a bomb big enough to fit in his back seat that he built in the bottom of his basement with bomb making equipment? Okay, you don't hear nothing about that story. They kind of hushed that one up.
Mm-hmm.
Or about the 4 white supremacists that got caught in Florida that had a stockpile of weapons and explosives ready to go kill black people. This is a sign, okay? This is a sign that the Most High is holding back the winds of destruction and death. Okay? Let me put it in context. And while you at it, give me the one in Luke, what Yahushua said. Okay? Sell that garment and get yourself a sword. Okay?
Go ahead and get that.
So this is in context for you to understand. Okay? The enemy is preparing to do you in.
And you got to know the difference. But I mean, you got different type of white boys.
Right? Yeah. By all means,
watch out for. You got to watch out for. You got sociopaths and you got psychopaths. Right? You got to know the difference between the two, because the psychopaths will blend in with you. The sociopaths are more outspoken about them not liking you.
Right.
But the psychopaths, they know how to blend in.
Blend in and be undercover.
Let me read this real quick.
All right.
This is the psychopath versus sociopath. Sociopaths are often called psychopaths and vice versa. But there are a difference between a sociopath and a psychopath. Psychopaths, for example, are far more likely to get in trouble with the law. Okay? Remember, sociopaths, for example, are far more likely to get in trouble with the law. While their psychopaths are more likely to get in trouble with the law. While sociopaths are much more likely to blend in with society, like Trump, like your local congressman.
Right, all your politicians.
Yeah, your local.
Your senators, okay.
Your mailman.
All right, your police chiefs.
Your buddy, your friend, your white boy that you call a friend, right? We got a bro I met. He's a Lyft driver, and he said he got a white friend that he always making guns and shit, and he be getting mad at him. The white boy be getting mad at him.
At who?
At him.
For what? For
No. The white boy makes some guns.
Right.
But he said the white boy always get mad at him all the time for shit. I was like, you need to get the hell away from that boy. You know what I'm saying?
Right. He waiting to go off.
Exactly.
He waiting to go off.
And he just want a reason.
Right. Right. And you that reason.
That is your sociopath.
Mm-hmm.
He blends in. Okay? And are much more likely to blend in with society. And while psychopaths and sociopaths do share some traits, psychopathy is an antisocial personality disorder. All right, they act real weird, and their conversation when it comes up with black unity and stuff, it touches them and we're like, what? Why would you do, man? Forget about that, man. And that's them asking for mercy.
Yeah,
that's what that is. They're asking for mercy, but they don't know how to come about and ask for mercy.
Right, their pride is in the way.
Con.
But again, okay, all these black churches, okay. Y'all better do your due diligence, okay? These white supremacists have a green light here in America, okay? It's the Most High. You better understand this. It is the Most High, Yahweh, Yahushua HaMashiach, that has prevented a lot of carnage from happening here in America. But rest assured, that carnage is coming, because you black people need a wake-up call, honestly.
Yeah.
You need a wake-up call.
You really do.
So when that 49 because the wake up call was really in South Carolina, but you kind of swept it under the rug. Okay. The church was all messed up mentally, talking about, well, we forgive him and this, that, and the third. Please.
They're giving them mercy.
When you are not in a position to give nobody mercy, because you haven't received mercy.
And
you need mercy from the Heavenly Father first and foremost. Man.
How you gonna give somebody else mercy, man?
You need mercy.
And all they're doing is enabling the white man to change. Every time you give him mercy, you enable him to change. He's never going to change.
It's not in his DNA to change. Okay. Now, let me say this. There are exceptions to the rule, but exceptions has no exception changes the rule. Okay.
I said,
it's
the
just
Most High don't give him mercy. Why should you give him mercy?
Right.
But there's exceptional. There
is exceptions. Okay. I mean, case in point, John Brown, if you know the history of John Brown, white guy down in, I believe, Kentucky, basically rose up against white people trying to free black slaves, okay, onto his death. You know what I'm saying? That's the exception to the rule, you know. Right. There's others, but I can't, that one just kind of popped in my head quicker. Okay. But the point is, exceptions don't change the rule. So the rule is that you black people need to get it together. Okay, you need to do your due diligence, and you need to do this scripture, Luke.
Y'all got that? Go ahead, read.
This is Luke chapter 22, verse 36. Then said he unto them, but now he that hath a purse, let him take it, and likewise his scrip. Hath no sword, let him sell his garment and buy one.
So he that has no sword, let him sell his garment and buy one. Now, what does that mean? What is a sword? A sword is a weapon, okay, used to protect yourself, okay? What is the modern day sword here in America? It's also can be knives and swords, but the modern day sword is the gun, okay? You have an obligation, okay, a duty to protect your family, your wife, your children, and above all, yourself, okay? The police ain't gonna protect you. You should see that by now. Congress ain't gonna protect you. No law on any book is gonna protect you. What's gonna protect you is when you physically take it within your hands to defend yourself by any means necessary, okay? So you black people need a whole change of mind, all right? And that reality is coming. All right. I mean, I don't want to be bearer of bad news, but this is biblical prophecy that we're talking about. This is the tip of the iceberg that we keep saying. That we are the ones crying wolf, but the wolf is slowly approaching. Okay. The wolf was in New Zealand. Okay. The wolf is going to come to Europe, and that wolf is about to come to America. Okay. And like I said, divine intervention, it's the Most High that has protected the carnage of our people, okay, 49, 50, 100, 200, all right? It's going to get worse before it gets any better. So, with that being said.
Hold on, I just want to give some traits of a psychopath real quick. Just give you some things to understand about what is a psychopath, right? Is actually a person with an antisocial personality disorder. Antisocial personality disorder is defined as a diagnostic and as a statistical manual of mental disorder. The book which contains the diagnostic criteria of mental illness. They have a mental illness as a cluster B personality disorder. Those that are dramatic or emotional, while psychopathy can be diagnosed at the age of 18 or above. The following must be, I say, as soon as they be born. That's where I diagnose it at. Now, these are some the things to recognize about them. Repeated violations of the law, because they don't care about the law. They don't. It was made for them to break. Pervasive lying and deception. Physical aggressiveness. Mm-hmm. Reckless disregard for safety or self or others. That's why they are just what you call them, junkies? They're
adrenaline junkies.
Adrenaline junkies. They're adrenaline junkies, jumping off buildings and stuff like that. Bungee jumping and stuff.
Okay.
They're real stupid. Consistent irresponsibility in work and family environments and lack of remorse. Now, this is of a psychopath versus sociopath. All right. Lack of guilt, remorse, lack of guilt, they're not guilty. They don't feel guilty for anything.
Right.
That's why the precept thy slave masters killed they killed thee and hold themselves not guilty.
Oh, Zechariah 11:5.
Yeah. They killed they
whose oppressor slay them and hold himself not guilty. Okay. And that's evident. Okay. I mean, look, black people, black men, black women, okay. Well, yeah, you too. All right. You can be unarmed, you can have your in the air. You could have not committed no crime whatsoever. You could be purchasing trying to purchase a air gun in a store like Walmart, talking about John Crawford that was killed by the police in Ohio. Okay. You could be a card carrying NRA concealed carry permit carrying man, such as
I forgot his name. He was in his car and he was reaching for his permit.
Right. Reaching for the license and his permit. Castile.
Philando Castile.
Right, Philando Castile. And on top of that, he had his wife and his daughter who was in the back seat. And she was more calm than the officer that just shot her husband. Okay, and it's on video. And the only reason why she didn't get killed is because of that little girl in that back seat. Because he would have had to kill her too. Because that was the witness. Okay, that was the witness. That's the only reason why she didn't get killed. Okay, because if he had killed her also, they could have said any story, made up any lie, and it would have flew. Because they made up a lie that he was reaching for his gun when he was only reaching for his permit, which he told the officer from the start of the video. All right. So again, you could be innocent, unarmed, hands up in the air, trying to fix a disabled vehicle on the highway. Talking about the brother in, I believe, where was that at? He had he looks like a bad man from the dude in the helicopter. Remember that? Yeah, he gets killed by
when he was flying over, in the backyard with his cell phone. They just had that trial too. What was his name, man?
Oh, they thought it was a gun?
Yeah, it was his cell phone.
Right, it was a cell phone. Okay. The point I'm making with all this is that you could be doing nothing and still get killed. Okay, that's the point I'm making to you black people. You could be doing nothing at all and still get murdered, murked, bodied, dead
by these psychopaths.
Okay, and they hold themselves not guilty. So you better take it for what it is. All right, this is a wake-up call to you.
Lack of deep emotional attachments.
Right.
That's why they put their own women away and go after other women of other nations. They don't care about making themselves. They just want to produce themselves so they can live on it. Narcissism, right? Superficial charm. Hey, they come to you, mouth words smooth as butter.
Right.
But in the back of their mind is war. Superficial charm. Dishonesty. They always lie. You can never get the truth out of a white man. I was watching a video when Alazar Baloyan was asking the white boy do you think it's right for your people to rob, steal, and kill and take people's land? Well, according to prophecy, it was good. We're not talking about according to prophecy. We're asking, do you feel it's right? And he just, after 10 minutes of running like a track star, he finally said, yeah, I think it's right. Damn devil.
Damn devil.
He was running though. Dishonesty.
That's probably the most honest statement he made in a long time.
Yeah. Manipulativeness. Manipulation. They're always manipulating people.
Come.
Reckless risk taking. That is a psychopath. I just gave you traits of a sociopath, a psychopath. And the white man, woman, and child fits every trait down to the T.
Or he'll try to tell the truth and put a lie in.
Exactly.
Right. Misinformation. He's good at that. He'll give you about 10 sentences of truth, but then that 11 through 13 are total lies.
Empathy.
Right. So, this is the tip of the iceberg, okay? Understand this. That was a warning that the Most High is sending out in New Zealand, okay? And with that warning, you know who's going to take heed to the warning first? The Muslims. Oh, they don't put the cables on. They don't put the cables on. What you think you fighting and winning, talking about jihad, you ain't seen no jihad because it hasn't been no jihad. You have just individual selves making their own decisions, doing what they want to do. Okay? A jihad comes from a very high up imam who consults with other imams, and it's a consensus among the whole Muslim world. Okay? Total jihad is global jihad. That's when all the Muslims take to fight for their belief. Okay? So you haven't seen that yet, but you will, because that's what's going to spark the Civil War. Okay? That's what's going to bring out all them white boys hiding in those mountains and in those caves. They're going to come out with the arsenals too, boy. Believe me, they got them arsenals that they've been stockpiling for 10 plus years. Okay, they got food for 10 plus years. What you black people got? Nada. Nada. Because you too carefree. You don't think nothing gonna happen. You think everything too sweet. That's what the problem is. You think everything too sweet. We're about to get bitter. All right? Most High ain't playing. This word ain't no joke. It's real. Everything the Most High's prophecy has come to pass. What's going to happen next is this civil war in the streets of America. So are you ready? Are you trying to be ready? First and foremost is being spiritually ready. That's coming back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. Repentance, obedience. Yahweh, Yahushua, Hamashiach, your nation, Yashala. And the understanding preparing for these last days. Okay, so anything else?
Jack Stevens. He says he's Ashkenar Khazar Jew.
Mm-hmm.
Those are two different nationalities.
Okay.
Which one are you going to claim?
Mm.
You can't be Ashkenazi Khazar and be a Jew. Those are two different nationalities in two different nations. You can't take Ashkenazi Khazar and graft yourself in with a Jew that is an Israelite. It's impossible. Your father is Esau. Our father is Jacob. Esau is a progenitor of the Ashkenazi Khazars. It's impossible for you to be a Jew and claim to be an Ashkenazi Khazar. That is confusing. All right, I need you to pull proof of Ashkenazi Khazar in the Bible being the same people as Israel. You got to show me that. I need to see that.
Okay.
We can go live with it if you want to. All right. Shalom.
All right. So, without any further ado, I will say, Amadium upon Jerusalem, let us stand and face towards Jerusalem, and begin with Shabbat service opening prayer.
Jack Stevens, we'll get to you after we finish this. We'd love to converse with you, man. All right.
Okay.
Jack Stevens. He said, what was that? King David was mixed, you know. Well, we need to see that in the Torah.
Okay. Okay, what? Me?
Oh. Am I ready?
Yep.
Abanawa.
Abanawa.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Kadash.
Kodash.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Shemka.
Shemka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Malach Wakah.
Malach Wakah.
Taba'ah.
Taba'ah.
Ratazaka.
Ratazaka.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Baharatazah.
Baharatazah.
Kahaya.
Kahaya.
Bashamayim.
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 Nathaniel.
Nathaniel.
Lacham.
Lacham.
Kayawam.
Kayawam.
Washalakina.
Washalakina.
Kabawakina.
Kabawakina.
Kashalakina.
Kashalakina.
Kabawakina.
Kabawakina.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Dabinayinao.
Dabinayinao.
Benasayawam.
Benasayawan.
Abol.
Abal.
Hawashayina.
Hawashayina.
Manrai.
Manrai.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Lacha.
Laka.
Hamalachwa.
Hamalakwa.
Walaala.
Wa'ala.
Watapara.
Watapara.
Walailamium.
Wa'alamium.
Aman.
Aman.
Bashim.
Bashim.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Mashiach.
Mashiach.
Aman.
Aman.
Our Father.
Our Father.
Which art in heaven.
Which art in heaven.
Hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done.
Thy will be done.
In earth.
In earth.
As it is in heaven.
As it is in heaven.
Give us this day.
Give us this day.
Our daily bread.
Our daily bread.
And forgive us.
And forgive us.
Our debts.
Our debts.
As we forgive.
As we forgive.
Our debtors.
Our debtors.
And lead us not.
And lead us not
into temptation.
into temptation.
But deliver us.
But deliver us
from evil.
from evil.
For thine is the kingdom.
For thine is the kingdom.
And the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory.
Forever.
Forever.
Amen.
Amen.
Bashim.
Bashim.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Mashiach.
Mashiach.
Amen.
Amen. Okay, Psalms 84 verse 4, Psalms 144 verse 15, Psalms 145, and Psalms 115 verse 18. I'll read. Blessed are they that dwell in thy house, they will still be praising thee, Selah. Happy is that people that in such a case. Yea, happy is that people whose Allahiyah is Yahweh. I will tell thee my Allahiyah, O King, and I will bless thy name forever and ever. Every day will I bless thee, and I will praise thy name forever and ever. Great is Yahweh, and greatly to be praised, and his greatness is unsearchable. One generation shall praise thy works to another, and shall declare thy mighty acts. I will speak of the glorious honor of thy majesty, and of thy wondrous works. And men shall speak of the might of thy terrible acts, and I will declare thy greatness. They shall abundantly utter the memory of thy great goodness, and shall sing of thy righteousness. Yahweh is gracious and full of compassion, slow to anger and of great mercy. Yahweh is good to all, and his tender mercy are over all his works. All thy works shall praise thee, O Yahweh, and thy saints shall bless thee. They shall speak of the glory of thy kingdom and talk of thy power, to make known to the sons of men his mighty acts and the glorious majesty of his kingdom. Thy kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and thy dominion endureth throughout all generations. Yahweh upholdeth all that fall, and raiseth up all those that be bowed down. Bow down. The eyes of all wait upon thee, and thou givest them their meat in due season. Thou openest thy hand and satisfy desire of every living thing. Yahweh is righteous in all his ways and holy in all his works. Yahweh is nigh to all them that call upon him, to all that call upon him in truth. He will fulfill desire of them that fear him. He also hear their cry and will save them. Yahweh preserves all them that love him, but all the wicked will he destroy. My mouth shall speak the praise of Yahweh, and let all flesh bless his holy name forever and ever. But we will bless Yahweh from this time forth and even forevermore. Hallelujah.
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 Bashem.
Bashem.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Amen.
Amen.
Okay, the first three prayers of the Mada. Abawath.
Abawath.
Barakatan.
Barakatan.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Allahayinawa.
Allahayinawa.
Allahayah.
Allahayah.
Abawath-lanawa.
Abawath-lanawa.
Allahayah.
Allahayah.
Abaraham.
Abaraham.
Allah.
Allah.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Yatizakwa.
Yatizakwa.
Wa Allah.
Wa Allah.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Yaikwa.
Yaikwa.
Allah.
Allah.
Shaya.
Shaya.
Allah.
Allah.
Ayawan.
Ayawan.
Gamal.
Gomor.
Kasa Dayam.
Kasadayam.
Barakatan Yahweh, Magan, Abaraham, Gabawarwa, Athan, Yahweh, Gawar, La Iwalam, Yahweh, Makaya, Matayam, Mamaya, Dawama, Laka, Malak, Ha Iwalam, Mamaya, Wamakaya, Barakatan, Yahweh, Makaya, Matayam, Quadawarhash, Shem Yahweh, Yahweh, Adan, Quadayash, Washamka, Quadayash, Quadawashim, Bakar, Yawum, Hala, Walaka, Salah, Barakatan, Yahweh, Ha'Allah, Ha'Quadawash. Blessed are you, Yahweh, the power of our fathers, the power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, the power of Yaquab, almighty power, most high power, who bestows mercy. Blessed are you, Yahweh, Sheila Abraham, you are mighty Yahweh, forever, Yahweh, who revives the dead, who's comparable to you, King of eternity, who caused death and gives life. Blessed are you, Yahweh, who gives life to the dead. You are holy, Yahweh, and your name is holy, and the Holy One every day. Praise you forever. Blessed are you, Yahweh, the power who is holy. Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach, Aman, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, the water, Kaya, Amafka, the water, Kaya, Amafka, the water, Kaya, Hashabah, the water, Kaya, Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach, Aman. Okay, Amadio, stand. Set the order for the anointing prayer.
All right. Yashaya. Zoe. Zalak.
Okay. The anointing prayer. Anointing prayer. Yabarakaka. That's Numbers, the 6th chapter, verses 6, 24 to 26. Everybody ready? Okay. Yabaraka, Yahweh, Washamarka, Ya'ar Yahweh, Panyawa, Ayaka, Wayakanka, Yasha'ar, Yahweh, Panyawa, Ayaka, Wayashamaka, Shalom, Yahweh, Barak, Rapar, Shamar, Kazak,
Yashia.
Shapya Gabar.
Zanakaria.
Marakat.
Nathaniel, Yahweh,
Barak,
Rapar, Shamar, Kazak,
Yashia.
Shapya Gabar.
Zanakaria.
Marakat.
Nathaniel, Yahweh,
Barak,
Rapar, Shamar, Kazak,
Yashia. Sally.
Shapya Gabar.
Zanakaria.
Marakat.
Nathaniel, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach, Aman. Yahweh bless thee, and keep thee. Aman. Yahweh make his face shine upon thee, and be gracious unto thee. Aman. Yahweh lift up his countenance upon thee, and give thee peace. Aman. Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach, Aman. Okay, the last 3 prayers of Amadah. Cool. All right. Abba Wadah, Ratazah, Yahweh, Allahayinawa, Ban'anka, Yasha'ala, Wapatanawa, Wahabshah, Abba Wadah, Vayikra, Makodashka,
Makodashka,
Wahabshah,
Wahabshah,
Banya,
Banya,
Tazakwa,
Tazakwa,
Bun,
Bun,
Aharon,
Aharon,
Barakathan,
Barakathan,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Habshah,
Habshah,
How Abu Wadah,
Wadah,
Bayathka,
Bayathka,
La Yahanyaka,
Yahanyaka,
Abu Wadah,
Wadah,
Mawadayim,
Mawadayim,
Anaknawa,
Anaknawa,
Laka,
Laka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ha'ila Nawa,
Ha'ila,
Ba'iwalam,
Ba'iwalam,
Magun,
Magun,
Yashai Nawa,
Yashai Nawa,
Shayam,
Shayam,
Shalawam,
Shalawam,
Shayam,
Shayam,
Shalawam,
Shalawam,
Tawabah,
Tawabah,
Wabarakakan,
Wabarakakan,
Kahan,
Kahan,
Wakasad,
Wakasad,
Rarakakayam,
Barakatayim,
Ayanawa,
Ayanawa,
Wa'ayl, Call,
Call,
Yasha'alam,
Yasha'alam,
Ainka.
Ainka.
Be favorable,
Be favorable,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
to your people,
to your people,
Yasha'alam,
Yasha'alam,
and to our prayers,
and to our prayers.
Restore,
Restore
the service,
the service
of your holy house,
of your holy house,
and restore,
and restore
the sons
the sons
of the Zakwa,
Zakwa,
Zada,
Zada,
son of
son
Aaron.
of Aaron.
Blessed are you,
Blessed are you,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
that restores the service
that restores the service
of your house
of your house
to your priests.
to your priests.
We thank you, Yahweh,
Thank you, Yahweh,
our power,
our power,
forever,
forever,
shield of our salvation,
shield of our salvation,
grant peace,
grant peace,
goodness,
goodness,
and blessing,
and blessing,
grace and kindness,
grace, kindness,
and compassion
and compassion
upon us
upon us
and upon all,
and upon all,
Yasha'Allah,
Yasha'Allah,
your people,
your people,
Bashem,
Bashem,
Yahushua,
Yahushua,
Hamashiach,
Mashiach,
Aman.
Aman.
Okay, Psalms 121, the song of degrees. Asha'ah,
Asha'ah,
Ayanya,
Ayanya,
Ayel,
Ayel.
Hari, excuse me. Psalms 121, the song of degrees. Asha'ah,
Asha'ah,
Ayanya,
Ayanya,
Ayel,
Ayel,
Aharyam,
Aharyam,
Ma'ayan,
Ma'ayan,
Azariah,
Azariah,
Azariah, Ma'an, Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Asha'ah,
Asha'ah,
Shamayam,
Shamayam,
Waratazah,
Waratazah,
La'ah,
La'ah,
Yathan,
Yathan,
Lamawat,
Lamawat,
Ragalka,
Ragalka,
La'ah,
La'ah,
Yanawam,
Yanawam,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Hana,
Hana,
La'ah,
La'ah,
Ya'yathon, excuse me, Ya'yawan,
Yahweh,
Wala'ah,
Wala'ah,
Yanashan,
Yanashan,
Shamar,
Shalomar,
Yasha'Allah,
Yasha'Allah,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Tazalka,
Tazalka,
Ayel,
Ayel,
Yan,
Yan,
Yam,
Yan,
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 Ka,
Ka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Hashemash,
Hashemash,
La'ah,
La'ah,
Yarakaka,
Yarakaka,
Wayarakaka,
Yarakaka,
Ba,
Ba,
La Yala,
La Yala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Makal,
Makal,
Rai,
Rai,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Ath,
Ath,
Napashka,
Napashka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Yatazalka,
Yatazalka,
Wabarakakan,
Yabarakakan,
Ma'aithan,
Ma'aithan,
Wa'ayel,
Wa'ayel,
Iwalam,
Arulam,
Aman,
Aman,
Bashem,
Bashem,
Yahushua,
Yahushua,
Hamashiach,
Mashiach,
Aman.
Aman.
Okay, Psalms 121, the song of degrees. I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Yasha'Allah shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper, Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth, even forevermore. Bashem,
Bashem,
Yahushua,
Yahushua,
Hamashiach,
Mashiach,
Aman.
Aman.
Okay, Psalms 92.
Psalms 92, a psalm for the Sabbath day. It is a good thing to give thanks unto Yahweh, and to sing praise unto thy name, O Most High, to shoot forth thy loving kindness in the morning, and thy faithfulness every night, upon an instrument of 10 strings, and upon the psaltery, upon the harp with a solemn sound. For thou, Yahweh, hast made me glad through thy work. I will triumph in thy works of thy hands, Yahweh. How great are thy works, and thy thoughts are very deep. Foolish man knoweth not, neither doth a fool understand this. When the wicked spring as the grass, when all the workers of iniquity do flourish, it is that they shall be destroyed forever. But thou, Yahweh, art most high forevermore. For lo, thine enemies, Yahweh, for lo, thine enemies shall perish. All the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. But my horn shalt thou exalt like a horn of a unicorn. I shall be anointed with fresh oil. Mine eye also shall see my desire on mine enemies, and mine ears shall hear my desire of the wicked that rise up against me. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. He shall grow like a cedar of Lebanon. Those that be planted in the house of the Yahweh shall flourish in the courts of Allahai. They shall still bring forth fruit in old age, and they shall be flat and flourishing to shew that Yahweh is upright. He is my rock, and there is no unrighteousness in him.
Bashem,
Bashem,
Yahushua,
Yahushua,
Hamashiach,
Hamashiach,
Aman,
Aman,
Hallelujah,
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 Bashem,
Bashem,
Yahushua,
Yahushua,
Hamashiach,
Hamashiach,
Aman,
Aman.
Okay, Yeshabi will be seated. Well, oh yeah, be seated for Kasha. All right. You ready to read? So we start in Leviticus, the first chapter. Okay. Okay. Let's get started. Okay, first reader. You registered? Okay, let's try it.
Yeshua ban Jose ban Aparim ban Nasharala.
Okay. Mariam. Barak.
Yahweh Bashim Yashar Brakata.
Thumb.
Thumb.
Both feet together. Try it again.
Yep.
Okay. 1, 2, 5. Okay. All right. Mariam. Barak.
Yahweh Bashim Yashar Brakata.
Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatah.
Okay. Leviticus, the first chapter. Call your chapter and verse loud and clear.
This is
Leviticus.
Leviticus chapter 1 verse 1.
Okay.
And the Lord called unto Moses and spake unto him out of the tabernacle of the congregation, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, If any man of you bring an offering unto the Lord, ye shall bring your offering of the cattle, even of the herd and of the flock. If his offering be a burnt sacrifice of the herd, let him offer a male without blemish. He shall offer it of his own
Voluntary.
with
Will.
at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before the Lord. And he shall put his hand upon the head of the burnt offering. It shall be accepted from him to make atonement for him. And he shall kill the bullock before the Lord, and the priests, Aaron's sons, shall bring the blood of and sprinkle the blood round about upon the altar that is by the floor of the tabernacle of the congregation. And he shall flay the burnt offering and cut it into pieces, and the sons of Aaron and the priest shall put fire upon the altar and lay the wood into order upon the fire. And the priest Aaron's sons shall lay the parts, the head, and the fat on the wood. This is one of the fire. That is one of the fire which
on the fire, right?
That is on the fire which is upon the altar. But his inwards and his leg shall he wash in water. And the priest shall burn all the altar to be a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord. And if his offering be of flocks, namely of the sheep or of the goats, for the burnt sacrifice, he shall bring it a male without blemish. And he shall kill it on the side of the altar northward before the Lord and the priest. Aaron's son shall sprinkle his blood around upon the round about upon the altar, and he shall cut it into his pieces with his head and with his fat, and the priest shall lay them in order on the wood that is on the fire which is upon the altar. But he shall wash the inwards and the legs with water, and priest shall bring it all and burn it upon the altar. It shall burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord. And the burnt sacrifice for his offering to the Lord be of fowls. Then he shall bring his offering of turtle doves, or of young pigeons. And the priest shall bring it upon the altar and wring off his head and burn it on the altar. And the blood thereof shall be wrung out at the side of the altar. And he shall pluck away his crop with his feathers, and cast it beside the altar on the east part by the place of the ashes. And he shall cleave it with the wings thereof, but shall not divide it asunder. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar, upon the wood that is upon the fire. It is a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire and sweet savor unto the Lord.
Okay. You just finished the chapter. How do you close out? Men, stand up. You remember?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's hear it.
Kal Shara,
The Bar Yahweh,
Anai
Shah,
Shemai.
All the Yahweh said,
Said.
What are we doing here?
What are we doing here? Okay. Commentary. All right. Yeah, go ahead.
This chapter was about
Loud and clear.
This chapter was about the burnt offering of the herds, the flocks, and the fowls.
Okay. What exactly is a burnt offering? Because I know we're gonna be saying that a lot from, in the book of Leviticus, going through the different chapters. There's a difference between the offerings. Okay. So what is the burnt offering? Who knows that? Okay.
The burnt offerings when you burn it on the altar and the sweet savor goes to the Most High.
I mean, straightforward, yeah. But I guess what anybody else want to add to that?
No, a burnt offering is a willing offering, either for your sins. It can be either for a free will offering. It's something that the Most High loves the smell of.
Right. Well, there's a difference. A sin offering specifically to atone for a sin.
Yeah.
Okay. A burnt offering, the point I'm trying to get to is that you burn the whole animal. Okay. Everything. Because normally when you make offerings, peace offerings and everything, the priests get a little portion of that meat for themselves. But when it's a burnt offering, all the parts of the animal get burnt onto the Most High. Okay, so that sweet savior, he gets all that of the animal. Okay, whatever is to be burnt gets burnt. Okay, the only thing maybe the priest would get in some cases is the skin of the animal, which they would tan and make leather from, or shoes, etc. But normally they would burn everything. Okay, so that's the difference. A burnt offering, you completely burn the whole animal, and that whole savior of smell is given to the Most High, which he smells. Okay, all right. Next reader. Okay, registry.
Hashapil Gabar, Ban Moro, Ban Yehuda, Ban Yasharala.
Okay, Madium. Barak.
Yahweh Bashim Yahshai Brakatham.
Yahweh Bashim Yahshai Brakatham.
Okay, you're in Leviticus, the 2nd chapter.
This is Leviticus chapter 2, verse 1. And when any will offer a meat offering unto the Lord, his offering shall be of fine flour, and he shall pour oil upon it, and put frankincense thereon. And he shall bring it to Aaron's sons the priests, and he shall take thereout his handful of the flour thereof, and of the oil thereof, with all the frankincense thereof, and the priest shall burn the memorial of it upon the altar, to be an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord. And the remnant of the meat offering shall be Aaron's and his sons. It is a thing most holy of the offerings of the Lord made by fire. And if thou bring an oblation of a meat offering baken in the oven, it shall be an unleavened cake of fine flour mingled with oil.
All right, so we have the meat offering, which is really of the flour, okay, grain offering, what we see happening here, okay. And they would make a unleavened bread, okay, and that was, the priest would have their portion thereof, okay. Then they will burn a portion of that, because the Most High also liked the smell of the grain mingled with the oil being burnt before him on the altar, like you read in verse 2. Okay, so they would mingle, they would take the flour with the oil and with the frankincense, and then burn it as a memorial upon the altar. Okay, it was an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Most High. And the remnant of the meat offering of the flour, they would make, after they burn a portion of that, then they would make the unleavened cake or breads of fine flour mingled with oil, okay, unleavened wafers. So this is what they made onto the priests. Okay, what verse you in?
Still verse 4.
Okay.
Or unleavened wafers with oil. And if thy oblation be a meat offering baken in a pan, it shall be of the fine flour unleavened, mingled with oil.
Ain't they cooking chicken?
Who?
They're making chicken right now, aren't they? Read that again from the top.
It said,
Fine.
and if thy oblation be a meat offering baken in a pan, it shall be of fine flour unleavened, mingled with oil.
That's what the meat offering is.
They fried chicken.
Okay.
No said they fried chicken. Hey,
Flour. Fine flour.
these are niggas. They frying chicken. You know what I'm saying? Hey, meat, whatever's goat meat, whatever's being fried. Go ahead. I was pointing that out. You know what I'm saying? This ain't white people doing that. They don't know nothing about herbs and spices.
Pinch of salt.
Or seasoning or none of that. They
It's
don't-
not, it's like just a pinch of salt. And it ain't even cooked all the way. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Verse 6. Thou shalt part it in pieces and pour oil thereon. It is a meat offering. And if thy oblation be a meat offering baken in the frying pan, it shall be made of fine flour with oil. And thou shalt bring the meat offering that is made of these things unto the Lord. And when it is presented unto the priest, he shall bring it unto the altar. And the priest shall take the priest shall take from the meat offering a memorial thereof, and shall burn it upon the altar. It is an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord. And that which is left of the meat offering shall be Aaron's and his sons. It is a thing most holy of the offerings of the Lord made by fire. No meat offering which ye shall bring unto the Lord shall be made with leaven, for ye shall burn no leaven, nor any honey, in any offering of the Lord made by fire. As for the oblation of the firstfruits, ye shall offer them unto the Lord, but they shall not be burnt on the altar for a sweet savor. And every oblation of thy meat offering shalt thou season with salt. Neither shalt thou suffer the salt of the covenant of thy God to be lacking from thy meat offering. With all thine offerings thou shalt offer salt. And if thou offer a meat offering of thy firstfruits unto the Lord, thou shalt offer for the meat offering of thy firstfruits green ears of corn dried by the fire, even corn beaten out of full ears. And
Go ahead. What verse you in?
verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
And thou shalt put oil upon it and lay frankincense thereon. It is a meat offering. And the priest shall burn the memorial of it, part of the beaten corn thereof, and part of the oil thereof, with all the frankincense thereof. It is an offering made by fire unto the Lord.
Okay, so verse 11 kind of gives you an understanding of the meat offering, which says it should be made without, this meat offering, it shall be made with leaven. You shall not burn no leaven, nor any honey in any offering of the Lord made by fire. All right. I guess when you add honey, that's for human consumption, but the meat, the grain, which is what the meat is referring to, is mingled with oil and then burnt to the Most High, sometimes with frankincense, sometimes without. Okay, so and that was of first fruit, green ears of corn. You give a portion of that to be burnt onto the Most High. The first of all, everything that the Most High blessed you with, you would give that portion unto the priest, unto the Most High, and to themselves. All right. So why? Because who's the one that gave you the animals to begin with? It was the Most High. Who's the one that made the field so they could graze at? It was the Most High. The rain, everything that you need to operate your husbandry is from the Most High. Okay. The seed. Okay. The sun. The rain. Okay. So the germination is from the Most High. Okay, because He provides the minerals in the earth for the seed to grow. And then the harvest, you get the harvest. So from that harvest that you physically harvest, you got your byproducts, whatever you make from the grains, bread, what have you, okay, cakes. But then a portion of that, your best portion, the first portion, goes to the Levitical priests, who then gave that portion properly to the Most High and to themselves. Okay, amen, stand. Okay, close out.
Kal Shara,
Kal Shara,
Debar Yahweh,
Debar Yahweh,
Nai Shah,
Anai Shah,
Wana Shemai,
Wana Shemai.
All that Yahweh said,
All that Yahweh said.
What we doing here?
What we doing here?
Okay, next reader.
Zinakaria, Ban Maraka, Ban Yahuda, Ban Yasharal.
Amadium. Barak.
Yahweh Shim Yashar Brakatam.
Yahweh Shim Yashar Brakatam.
Okay.
Hallelujah.
All right, you in Leviticus 3rd chapter.
Come.
Moving right along.
To peace offerings.
Huh?
This chapter is about peace offerings.
Kind. Okay.
The last one went on meat offerings.
Right. Meat offering, which is also grain offering.
And then we're going to peace offerings.
The first offering, when the Most High got everything, was the burnt offering. Okay, you burn everything up. And also remember this too, it was of an animal with no blemish, no deformities, nothing perfect.
So like deformities like retarded or like limp.
Right, no animal's retarded per se, but I'm saying, a limp or, one limb shorter than the other, disfiguration, discoloration.
Like spots?
Yeah, spots when they ain't supposed to have spots.
Yeah, so it's supposed to like clear, like just pure like black or white.
Right, exactly. Or black and white, but that's because that's what the species is bred to produce.
Okay.
Okay, so you're in Leviticus, the 3rd chapter. You ready?
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
This is Leviticus chapter 3, verse 1. And if his oblation be a sacrifice of peace offering, if he offer it of the herd, whether it be a male or a female, he shall offer it without blemish before the Lord. And he shall lay his hand upon his head of his offering and kill it at his door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And Aaron's sons and the priests shall sprinkle the blood upon the altar round about. And he shall offer of the sacrifice of the peace offering an offering made by unto the Lord, the fat that covereth the inwards.
Oh, let me real quick. One of the reasons why we're not supposed to eat blood is because the spirit of the animal dwells within the blood.
Spirits in the blood.
So that spirit gets burnt on the altar to the Most High because he gave that spirit of the animal to the animal. Okay. Now we're reading about the call. You in verse 4?
Come.
Okay, read that.
And the 2 kidneys and the fat that is on them, which is by the flanks, and the calf above the liver, above the liver with the kidneys, it shall he take away.
Now that's the fat around the organs. Okay, the kidneys, the liver
that we can't eat, right?
That we can't eat, but other fat that's around the muscle we can eat. Okay, like good old lamb fat. Okay, so the organs are given to the Most High. Okay, go ahead.
Go. And Aaron's son shall burn it on the altar upon the burnt sacrifice, which is upon the wood that is on the fire. It is an offering made by fire of the sweet savor unto the Lord. And if his offering for a sacrifice of peace offering unto the Lord be of the flock, male or female, he shall offer without blemish. If he offer a lamb for his offering, then shall he offer it before the Lord. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of his offering and kill it before the tabernacle of the congregation. And Aaron's son shall sprinkle the blood thereof round about upon the altar. And he shall offer the sacrifice of the peace offering, an offering made by 2 unto the Lord.
You in verse 9?
Come.
Made by fire, right?
Come. So like I said, 2.
That's what it sounds like.
Come.
Okay, let's try it again.
Come. Verse 9. And ye shall offer of the sacrifice of peace offering, an offering made by fire unto the Lord. The fat thereof and the whole rump, it shall he take off hard by the backbone, and the fat that covereth the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver with the kidneys, it shall he take away. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar. It is the food of the offering made by fire unto the Lord.
We need juice.
Juice.
Need juice.
Yeah.
So
need
take
juice.
Oh, okay, so I went and found that precept in Genesis.
You need juice.
Yeah. I thought y'all was talking about actual juice over here. We're not thirsty.
Okay. We good? Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
Just a sec.
Here, I'll hold you, book.
I got it.
Juiced up? Okay.
All right.
Where
So
you
verse
at?
13.
Okay.
Hold on, I got a precept real quick.
Okay.
This is Genesis 9. I'm gonna start at 3. And every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you. Even as the green herb have I given you all things. Verse 4. But flesh with the life thereof, which is in the blood thereof, shall you not eat. And surely your blood of your lives will I require. At the hand of every beast will I require it, and at the hand of men, and at the hand of every man's brother will I require your life of man, just for doing that.
Okay.
So the blood, the life, the spirit is in the blood. Life is in the blood. You are not to eat meat with blood in it. It must be cooked all the way through. Raw meat. All right. I just wanted to bring it out.
Okay, come. Where you at now?
13.
Okay.
Verse 13. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of it and kill it before the tabernacle of the congregation. And the sons of Aaron shall sprinkle the blood thereof upon the altar round about. And he shall offer thereof his offering, even an offering made by fire unto the Lord. The fat that covereth the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver with the kidneys, and it shall he take away.
So the caul is the fat that surrounds the organ. Okay. Every organ has that caul. Okay. The liver.
Like humans too?
Yeah, us too. Not that we're into cannibalism or anything, but yeah. But yeah. All right. Where you at?
Verse 16.
Okay.
And the priest shall burn them upon the altar. It is the food of the offering made by fire for a sweet savor. All the fat that all the fat is the Lord's. It shall be a perpetual statute for your generations throughout all your dwellings, that ye eat neither fat nor blood.
That you eat neither fat. The fat in this scripture is referring to the caul that we read earlier. That's the fat around the organs. Okay. So the fat that comes with maybe a ribeye steak, okay, that's okay to eat. Or the fat that comes with porterhouse fat that comes with chicken, okay. But you want to clean.
Steak fat.
But I'm saying you want to you clean and kosher. Kosher just means drawing as much blood out the meat before you start to cook it. Okay, that's a process that you got to start doing. It's not long. Well, plan ahead. You know, overnight soak into some kosher salt, maybe a little lemon to draw out all that blood. Then clean that, drain that off, rinse it off real good so you don't have a salty, taste on your meat, and then cook it as you see fit. But the point is drawing out as much blood as possible before you start cooking it. Okay. Which brings us to another point, but the other point I want to just touch upon. This is a serious law that the Most High said that we shouldn't eat blood. Okay, because when you digest blood from different animals, you're taking in the spirit of that animal. That's why certain elixirs that you see in a lot of Chinese martial arts, they're taking the adrenaline from tigers, you're taking the adrenaline from bears, lions maybe, and you digesting that. You're dealing with some serious forces there. Okay, demonic forces, to be honest with you, because you ain't supposed to be having those type of spirits on you. Okay.
So is that why they turn so strong, though?
Who?
Chinese people.
Some of them. That, and you gotta they do a lot of qigong as far as breathing exercises, dynamic tension, training, a lot of breathing exercises, to get the body in unison and to operate as one. So that's more power. Okay, then their diet has a lot to do with it. All right, they're not Americanized.
They eat a lot of rice.
The rice they eat is completely different than the rice that we eat here. Okay. All right. So that concludes chapter 3. All men stand. Probably might need to get those hands a little bit. All right. Go ahead.
Call Shirah.
Call Shirah.
The Bar Yahweh.
The Bar Yahweh.
Anai Shah.
Anai Shah.
Wenah Shemai.
Wenah Shemai.
All that Yahweh said.
All that Yahweh said.
Will we doing here?
Will we doing here?
Okay, next reader.
Marakat, Ban Darnell, Ban Yahawada, Ban Yasharala.
Amadium. Barak.
Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatham.
Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatah.
This is Leviticus chapter 4, going in on sin offering, sin of ignorance.
Are you gonna stand?
You gotta stand. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, If a soul shall sin through ignorance against any of the commandments of the Lord, concerning things which ought not to be done, and shall do against any of them, if the priest that is anointed do sin according to the sin of the people, then let him bring for his sin which he hath sinned a young bullock without blemish unto the Lord for a sin offering. And he shall bring the bullock unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before the Lord, and shall lay his hand upon the bullock's head, and kill the bullock before the Lord. And the priest that is anointed shall take of the bullock's blood, and bring it to the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest shall dip his finger in the blood, and sprinkle of the blood 7 times before the Lord, before the veil of the sanctuary. And the priest shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar of sweet incense before the Lord, which is in the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall pour all the blood of the bullock at the bottom of the altar of the burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And he shall take off from it all the fat of the bullock for the sin offering, the fat that covereth the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the calf above the liver with the kidneys. It shall be take away, as it was taken off from the bullock of the sacrifice of peace offerings. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar of the burnt offering. He said, do it basically do it the same way you did with the peace offerings and taking that fat off. Verse 12, even the whole bullock shall he carry forth without the camp unto a clean place, where the ashes are poured out, and burn him on the wood with fire. Where the ashes are poured out shall he be burnt. And if a whole congregation of Israel sin through ignorance, and the thing be hid from the eyes of the assembly, and they have done somewhat against any of the commandments of the Lord concerning things which should not be done, and are guilty, when the sin which they have sinned against it is known, then the congregation shall offer a young bullock for the sin, and bring him before the tabernacle of the congregation. And the elders of the congregation shall lay their hands upon the head of the bullock before the Lord, and the bullock shall be killed before the Lord. And the priest that is anointed shall bring of the bullock blood to the tabernacle of the congregation.
I just want to interject real quick. These sin offerings are contingent upon sins that have been committed not willfully, okay, by ignorance, not knowing any better, okay.
Yeah, that's
by
that's,
accident.
Get that straight, because people just
well, it's gonna, as we get further into the chapters, we're gonna see when the Most High specifically talks about a sin that's committed with a hot hand, a willing hand, presumptuous sin, which basically premeditated. You knew what you was gonna do, you knew you was gonna sin, so you just had that bullock ready to sacrifice and offer up the blood for that sin. That's willful sin. That's why the Most High had to do away with sacrificial laws for a time period, because we abused them. Everybody abused them, including the priests. That's why
they were selling bullocks and goats and stuff at the tabernacle.
Right. So they made it into a racket. Okay.
Racket. So
they polluted the whole idea of what the sacrificial laws were pertaining to.
That's like how people nowadays abuse grace.
Right. How they abuse grace, use it as a license to sin. Because I have grace, I can't sin. No, you have grace, so you can learn not to sin.
Grace is actually like, say you got a phone bill, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
it's due on a certain
day.
day.
It's due on a certain day. They're gonna cut it off. So they say they give you 30 days to pay this bill, right? That's just like how grace is. He's giving you a certain amount of time to get your ish together so you can pay it back.
Right. But Israel being Israel, our people being there themselves basically took it as a license to sin. So this is why Mashiach had to come on the scene to be that pure, unblemished, without sin sacrifice for the whole nation. So he took on the sins of all of us, the sins of the priests, the sins of the Levites, everybody. Okay, he took on the sins for everybody so we can atone as a nation and have a second chance of sin. Okay, where the laws will be written in our hearts, being our minds. Okay, so I just want y'all to be clear on that. Okay, this is for sin out of ignorance, and it's going to repeat itself a couple more times. All right, go ahead. What verse?
I'm going to start back in 16, verse 16.
Okay.
This is Leviticus chapter 4 and verse 16. And the priest that is anointed shall bring of the bullock's blood to the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest shall dip his finger in some of the blood and sprinkle it 7 times before the Lord, even before the veil. And he shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar, which is before the Lord, that is in the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall pour out all the blood at the bottom of the altar of the burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall take all his fat from him, and burn it upon the altar. And he shall do with the bullock as he did with the bullock for a sin offering. So shall he do with this. And the priest shall make an atonement for them, and it shall be forgiven them. And he shall carry forth the bullock without the camp, and burn him as he burned the first bullock. It is a sin offering for the congregation. When a ruler hath sinned, done somewhat through ignorance against any of the commandments of the Lord his God, concerning things which should not be done, and is guilty, or if his sin wherein he hath sinned come to his knowledge, he shall bring his offering, a kid of the goats, a male without blemish. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the goat and kill it in the place where they killed the burnt offering before the Lord. It is a sin offering. And I just want to say something. This is what Issachar and Zebulun was doing when they was offering virgins unto the Most High, unto these idols, and they was killing them and eating the flesh thereof. They went off. This is what they was doing right here. This is what they was doing. All right, verse 25. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offerings, and shall pour out his blood at the bottom of the altar of burnt offerings. And he shall burn all his fat upon the altar, as the fat of the sacrifice of peace offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him, as concerning his sin, and it shall be forgiven him. And if any one of the common people sin through ignorance, while he doeth somewhat against any of the commandments of the Lord, concerning things which ought not to be done, and be guilty, or if his sin which he hath sinned come to his knowledge, then he shall bring his offering, a kid of the goats, a female without blemish, for his sin which he hath sinned. This what Issachar and Zebulun was doing. Insane. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering and slay the sin offering in the burnt offering. And the priest shall take of the blood thereof with his finger and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and shall pour out all the blood thereof at the bottom of the altar. And he shall take away all the fat thereof, as the fat is taken away from the sacrifice of peace offerings. And the priest shall burn upon the altar for a sweet Savior unto the Lord. And the priest shall make an atonement for him, and it shall be forgiven him. And if he bring a lamb for a sin offering, he shall bring it a female without blemish. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering, and slay it for a sin offering, in the place where it for a sin offering, and slay it for a sin offering in the place where they kill the burnt offerings. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offerings, and shall pour out all the blood thereof at the bottom of the altar. And he shall take away all the fat thereof, as the fat of the lamb is taken away from the sacrifice of peace offerings, and the priest shall burn them upon the altar, according to the offerings made by fire unto the Lord. And the priest shall make an atonement for his sin that he hath committed, and it shall be forgiven him. Yeah.
So these are the different sin offerings that were made for atonement. But the key point is that these sin offerings were made for sins done out of ignorance.
Or if he didn't know, and it was brought to his attention at the time, when they just did they did a bunch of other people that sinned out of ignorance. And they did that already, and they just found out somebody else in the congregation or a king and just found out that he was guilty of a sin, and he just came in knowledge of it. He has to bring a lamb, a male without blemish. Or if it be somebody else that was around and they was of a common folk, they had to bring a female goat without blemish.
And then it's
without blemish, no spots on them or nothing.
No deformities, no ailments. And then if the whole congregation has sinned, then they had to bring a lamb bullock, and then the elders of the congregation have to lay their hands on it and slay it before the Most High. Okay? So the whole congregation, okay, then individual, then the priest, then the kings all have separate sin offerings that they would have to do. All right, let's close out.
Hey, let's go. Ka Shara, Debar Yahweh,
Debar Yahweh,
Nai Shai,
Renah Shemai.
All that Yahweh said.
All that Yahweh said.
What we doing here?
What we doing here?
Okay. Yeah, Leviticus the 5th chapter. Yeah. All right, registry. Go ahead.
Zachariah, Bar Markal, Ban Yahweh, Ban Yasharal,
Amadium. Barak.
Yahweh Shemi Hashar Bakatam.
Yahweh Shemi Hashar Bakatam.
Okay. The whole chapter of Leviticus 5. Hold on 1 second before you start. Okay, go ahead.
Leviticus chapter 5, verse 1. And if a soul sin and hear the voice of swearing, and is a witness whether he hath seen or known of it, if he do not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity. Or if a soul toucheth any unclean thing, whether it be a carcass of an unclean beast, or a carcass of an unclean cattle, or the carcass of an unclean creeping things, and if it be hidden from him, he also shall be unclean and guilty.
So one is talking about if somebody hear the voice of swearing and is a witness whether he hath seen or known of it. If he does not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity. That means that goes into rest not judgment. In Deuteronomy 16 and 19. You're over there. You hear this person say this, or you saw it, and you don't say nothing,
You're just as guilty.
you're just as guilty, man. You're bearing his iniquity as well. That's like if you say I'm wrong, you bear the burden of proof now. You are wrong, so now you're going to bear the iniquity of that person.
Deuteronomy what?
16 and 19, rest not judgment.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what verse you in?
Verse 3.
Go ahead.
Or if he touch the uncleanness of man, whatsoever uncleanness it be that a man
So
shall
hold
be.
on real quick, Salakia. So that goes with our family within the house. If you hear somebody say something, there's no such thing as no snitching. That ish got to go in Israel. Stop snitching. Nah, you're bearing the iniquity too now, man. You're not saying anything. A lot of people be in these camps and they don't say nothing because they don't want to be scolded within their camp, but you're not helping anything.
Mm-hmm.
You're not helping at all. Get that out your mouth, young man. And that goes in the house. There's that snitching stuff, gotta stop. You're not snitching. You're just letting it be known. But if I was you and you don't want to feel so much guilty, go to that person and talk to him and be like, man, I think this is something that you did it, so we gotta say it. We gotta talk about it till Amo. You know what I mean? We're gonna have to counsel about it because that's what you did and you shouldn't have done it. All right? So go to that person and tell him what he done. You know? And then y'all both go to Amo. Because it has to be told. At least y'all working together. All right, go ahead. And that goes for everybody. That goes for everybody. Go to that person in your family or your friend at work and you let them know what they did wrong, and then y'all both go and present what you did wrong.
Verse 4 in Leviticus chapter 5.
Mm-hmm.
Or if a soul swear, pronouncing with his lips to do evil or to do good, whatsoever it be that a man shall pronounce with an oath, and if it be hid from him when he knoweth of it, then he shall be guilty of one of these. It shall be.
In other words, if he swore to do whether it's evil or good and he doesn't carry out whatever he did, he's gonna bear that iniquity for not doing what he said he was
What was
gonna
that
do.
one?
Verse 4. Okay.
And swear is like making a promise, say you're gonna do something.
Right, and don't do it.
Yeah.
Okay, verse 5.
And it shall be when he shall be guilty in one of these things, that he shall confess that he hath sinned in that thing, and he shall bring his trespass offering unto the Lord for his sin.
So now a trespass offering, because he made a trespass against the Most High. Well, start from 5.
Come on, you said start from 5?
Yeah.
Okay. And it shall be when he shall be guilty in one of these things, that he shall confess that he hath sinned in that thing, and he shall bring his trespass offering unto the Lord for his sin, which he hath sinned, a female from the flock, a lamb or a kid of the goats for a sin offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his sin. And if he be not able to bring a lamb, then he shall bring for his trespass which he hath committed 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons unto the Lord, one for a sin offering and the other for a burnt offering.
So there's levels of offerings that you make to the Lord, to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, for your trespass offering. Okay. The first being a female from whether it be a lamb or a kid from of the goats. Okay. Then if he's not able to bring a lamb for his trespass, he gotta bring 2 turtle doves. One's gonna be for a sin offering, the other for a burnt offering. All right, continue.
Verse 8. And ye shall bring them unto the priest, who shall offer which is for the sin offering first, and wring off his head from his neck, but shall not divide it asunder. And ye shall sprinkle of the blood of the sin offering upon the side of the altar. The rest of the blood shall be wrung out of the bottom of the altar. It is a sin offering. He shall offer the second for a burnt offering according to the manner, and the priest shall make an atonement for him for his sin, which he hath sinned, and it shall be forgiven him. But if he be not able to bring 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, then he that sinned shall bring forth his offering the 10th part of an ephah of fine flour for his sin offering.
So the ephah is a measurement of the fine flour. Somebody look up ephah.
E5 or E5?
Ephah. E-P-H-A-H.
Anyone of y'all can do it.
I'm used to it. You got it?
It says a dry measure equivalent to a bushel.
A dry measurement that is equivalent to a bushel of wheat, which is ground into flour. All right. Verse, go ahead. Read 11 again.
But if he be not able to bring 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, then he that sinned shall bring for his offering 10th part of an ephah of fine flour for a sin offering. He shall put no oil upon it, neither shall he put in any frankincense thereon, for it is a sin offering.
So there's different levels. If he's not able to do this level, he has this level. Then if he's not able to do the second level, then they have a third level. Okay, go ahead.
Come. Then shall he bring it to the priest, and the priest shall take his handful of it, even a memorial thereof, and burn it on the altar according to the offering made by fire unto the Lord. It is a sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him, as touching his sin, that he hath sinned in one of these, and it shall be forgiven him. And the raiment shall be the priest, as a meat offering. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, if a soul commit a trespass and sin through ignorance in the holy things of the Lord, then he shall bring forth trespass unto the Lord, a ram without blemish, out of the flocks with any estimation by shekels of silver, after the shekel of sanctuary for a trespass offering. And ye shall make amends for the harm that he has done in the holy thing. And ye shall add the 5th part thereto, and give it unto the priest. The priest shall make an atonement for him.
20%, the 5th part.
And make an atonement for him with the ram of a trespass offering, and it shall be forgiven him. And if he so sin and commit any of these things which are forbidden to be done by the commandments of the Lord, though he wist it not, yet he guilty, and shall bear his iniquity. And he shall bring a ram without blemish out of the flock with an estimation for a trespass offering unto the priest. And the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his ignorance, wherein he erred, and wist it not, and it shall be forgiven him. It is a trespass offering. He hath certainly trespassed against the Lord.
That was it. So we're reading about the trespass offerings. That concludes this week's Torah portion. Now we deal with the half Torah portion. Let's close out this chapter. Okay. Close out.
Kashra,
Kashra.
Bar Yahweh,
Bar
Yahweh.
Anasha,
Na'asha,
Wanashama.
Wanashama.
All that Yahweh said,
All that Yahweh said,
will be doing here.
will be doing here.
Okay. So, Shapia, 1 Samuel, the 15th chapter.
Okay.
You don't have to stand up to read it.
No, not the half portion.
Just read it nice and loud.
Okay, so now we're gonna read about King Saul and how he sinned against the Most High.
Where we going for Samuel 1?
1 Samuel 15.
This is 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 1. Samuel also said unto Saul, the Lord sent me to anoint thee to be king over his people, over Israel. Now therefore hearken thou unto the voice of the words of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel.
Amalek. Who are the Amalekites today? Amalek.
Just so-called Jewish people.
Yeah, so-called
Khazars.
Jews. Khazarian Empire. So-called Jews, the 13th tribe.
And that's what Jack was talking about on here. He said he's a Khazar
Mm.
of the Khazarian Empire, which is Amalek.
Amalek.
He just proved himself to be an Edomite.
Kind.
So how can they be a Jew? Cut right there.
Right.
Through the spirit, man. Just got cut.
Okay. So we have had beef with the Amalekites since the beginning of time. And the beef really started back in Genesis when they wouldn't allow, started back in Exodus when they allowed Moshe and the children of Israel to pass through a certain portion of land. So we had to take the long route around. So that's when the beef started. Okay. So what verse you in?
Verse 2.
Go ahead.
How he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt. Now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass.
So go ahead.
Okay,
Any more? You in the next?
that's it on that verse.
All right. So his instructions from the Most High was to go in and slay everything. 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 There was nothing to be left.
Man, beast, children,
Everything.
dogs.
Everything.
Mice.
Anything that had breath in it was to be slain. Okay. That was the instructions from the Most High. Okay. Remember that. Those are the instructions coming from the chief in charge, head chief in charge, which is Yahweh. All right. All right. What verse you in?
Verse 4.
Go ahead.
And Saul gathered the people together and numbered them into line, 200,000 foot men and 10,000 men of Judah. And Saul came to a city of Amalek and laid wait in the valley. And Saul said unto the Kenites, Go, depart, get you down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them. For ye showed kindness to all the children of Israel when they came up out of the land of Egypt. So the Kenites departed from among the Amalekites.
So he gave them a warning because they did good by Israel. Okay. When we came out of Egypt, you helped us out. So this is your warning to separate from those that didn't help us out. And they separated themselves. All right. Go ahead.
And Saul smote the Amalekites from Havilah until thou comest to Shur, that is over against Egypt. And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive, and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. But Saul and the people spared Agag, and the best of the sheep, and of the oxen, and of the fatlings, and the lambs, and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them, but everything that was vowed, and refused that they destroyed utterly. Then came the word of the Lord unto Samuel, saying, It repenteth me that I have set up Saul to be king.
So it repented the Most High that he set up Saul to be king. Why is that? Because he was not obedient to the commandment of the Most High. He didn't follow instructions. Same way Mashah didn't follow instructions. When he should have spoke to the rock, he smoked the rock. And just for that one trespass, he was not allowed to enter the promised land, the kingdom. Okay. Now we have Saul not doing what he was instructed to do, which was to what? Slay utterly everything of the Amalekites. Okay. Man, woman, and beast.
Amalekites?
Amalekites.
Amalekites.
All right. What verse you in?
Verse 11 still.
Okay.
For he is turned back from following me, and hath not performed my commandments. And it grieved Samuel, and he cried unto the Lord all night. And when Samuel rose early to meet Saul in the morning, it was told Samuel, saying, Saul came to Carmel, and set him up a place, and is going about, and passed on, and gone down to Gilgal. And Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said unto him, Blessed be thou of the Lord. I have performed the commandment of the Lord. And Samuel said, What meaneth then this bleating of the sheep in mine ears, and the lowing of the oxen which I hear? And Saul said, They have brought them from the Amalekites. For the people spared the best of the sheep and of the oxen to sacrifice unto the Lord thy God, and the rest we have utterly destroyed. Then Samuel said unto Saul, Stay, I will tell thee what the Lord hath said to me this night. And he said unto him, Say on. And Samuel said, When thou wast little in thine own sight, wast thou not made the head of the tribes of Israel? And the Lord anointed the king over Israel? And the Lord sent thee on a journey, and said, Go and utterly destroy the sinners, the Amalekites. Fight against them until they be consumed. Until they be consumed. Salah. Wherefore then didst thou not obey the voice of the Lord, but didst foul upon the spoil, and didst evil in the sight of the Lord? And Saul said unto Samuel, Yea, I have obeyed the voice of the Lord, and have gone the way which the Lord sent me, and have brought Agag, the king of Amalek, and have utterly destroyed the Amalekites. But the people took of the spoil sheep and oxen, the chief of the things which should have been utterly destroyed, to sacrifice unto the Lord thy God in Gilgal. And Samuel said, Hath the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices, as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of the ram.
So he's telling them that to obey is better than any sacrifice that you can give unto the Most High. You can't give what you want to give. You got to do what you're told.
Didn't Cain have that same problem?
Yeah. He knew what the law was, but he decided to give a fruit offering to the Most High. When the Most High required blood, that meat offering, okay? Again, to obey is better than sacrifice. So they felt that they was gonna keep the best of the sheep, lambs, and goats, sacrifice some and keep the rest. It wasn't their call to make. They got their instructions. See, that's the point. It'd be different if the Most High didn't give them the proper instructions, but he gave them what he told them to do. He gave them what he told them to do, and they did not what they were supposed to do. This is why Samuel was there now, telling them his trespass, his sin to the Most High. All right, what verse you in?
Verse 23.
Mm-hmm.
For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, he hath also rejected thee from being king. And Saul said unto Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandment of the Lord, and thy words, because I feared the people and obeyed their voice.
He king. How you gonna fear the people? Most High got his back. No. Go ahead.
Well, I got a precept for verse 23.
Mm-hmm. What is it?
Hosea 4:6.
Go ahead, go ahead.
My people destroyed for lack of knowledge.
Come.
Read it, go ahead.
Okay. Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. So right here, where it says that Samuel was rejecting the word of the Most High rejected him. This is also what's happening in Hosea 4 and 6.
Yeah, you are basically destroyed for the lack of knowledge for not following the law.
Exactly.
You know, you're destroyed for it. You know?
This is why you sin, not knowing why you're sinning. This is why you pollute the Shabbat. Okay? This is the holy days, because you don't know the holy days. This is why you caught up into idolatry, paganism. This is why you celebrate all these pagan holidays as if they're holy days.
That is
Like
witchcraft.
Thanksgiving, like Christmas, Witchmas, Snakesgiving, okay? 4th of July, okay? July, Easter, about the suns, okay? You want the Easter bunny now. You want to go on an Easter egg hunt, which is all rites of fertility that they did in times past, okay?
But also, if you don't want the knowledge of the Most High, then the Most High don't want nothing to do with you.
Right. He ain't gonna have nothing to do with you. All right, what verse you in?
Verse 26.
Okay.
Let's see.
He said, for rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. Now, you're supposed to burn a witch, right?
Suffer another witch to live. Yeah. And what we got now, for those that can remember Cleo, call me. Psychic hotline, Dionne Warwick, you know, her psychic friend. Okay. The Ouija board and the tarot cards and you know, anything to venture into the spiritual realm without the right recourse, without the proper understanding or the right way. There's only one way. You got to do it through the Most High and Yahushua Mashiach. You come any other way, you come as a thief. Now you can go that way and probably get some results, but you playing with fire.
Yeah.
You playing with fire.
They gonna get you. They gonna trick you into something.
Well, the whole point is
craftiness.
The whole point is, it's not money that you pay with. You pay with blood, because the spirit. You pay with your spirit. That's how you pay. But then you offer the blood, the spirit of other animals to satisfy that demon that you want whatever XYZ being to be done. Okay, but in the end, you're gonna pay for that. You're gonna pay for that. All that dabbling, all that, you know, what you think you can do, you're gonna have to answer for that. Okay. Where you at?
I'm gonna start at 25.
All right, go ahead.
Now therefore I pray thee, pardon my sin, and turn again with me, that I may worship the Lord. And Samuel said unto Saul, I will not return with thee, for thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, and the Lord hath rejected thee from being king over Israel. And as Samuel turned about to go away, he laid hold upon the skirt of his mantle, and it rent. And Samuel said unto him, the Lord had rent the kingdom of Israel from thee this day, and hath given it to a neighbor of thine, that is better than thou. And also the strength of Israel will not lie, nor repent, for he is not a man that he should repent. Then he said, I have sinned, yet honor me now, I pray thee, before the elders of my people and before Israel, and turn again with me, that I may worship the Lord thy God. So Samuel turned again after Saul, and Saul worshiped the Lord. Then Samuel, bring you hither to me, Agag, the king of the Amalekites.
No, then said Samuel.
Oh, so like, then said Samuel, bring you hither to me.
Bring ye hither.
What
do you say?
I said, bring you.
All right, go ahead.
Verse 32. Then Samuel Then said Samuel, bring you hither to me Agag, the king of the Amalekites. And Agag came unto him delicately. And Agag said, surely the bitterness of death is past. And Samuel said, as thy sword had made women childish, so shall thy mother be childless. Salakia. I'm going to read that. And Samuel, as thy sword had made women childless, so shall thy mother be childless among women. And Samuel hewed Agag in pieces before the Lord in Gilgal. Then Samuel went to Ramah, and Saul went up to his house to Gibeah of Saul. And Samuel came no more to see Saul until the day of his death. Nevertheless, Samuel mourned for Saul, and the Lord repented that he had made Saul king over Israel.
So the Lord repented that he had made Saul king over Israel because he wasn't qualified. He thought his heart was there, but it wasn't there. But divine prophecy, as it has unfolded, the next to come into play was King Dawid, a man after the Most High's heart, straight killing machine. Like 0 to 100, Dawid was that man. He goes, listen, he could go 0 to 100, then come back and play the harp and sip some wine and chill and be that diplomat, be that king, be that smooth sayer of words. Okay, smooth sayer of words, write songs. Okay, poetry. But he had that switch because he was a man after the Most High's heart. All right, so that concludes the half-Torah portion, 1 Samuel 15, verses 1 to 34. The Brit Kadash is Matthew, the 5th chapter. I'll read that. Matthew, the 5th chapter, verses 23 to verse 30. Okay. Matthew 5, excuse me, verse 23. Therefore, if thou bring thy gift to the altar, and there remembereth that thy brother has aught against thee, leave there thy gift before the altar, and go thy way. First be reconciled to thy brother, and then come and offer thy gift. So if there's an art, meaning a disagreement between men, brothers, okay, of your nation, okay, before you offer your gift to the Most High at the altar, you need to go and be reconciled to your brother, okay? Verse 25, it says, agree with thy adversaries quickly whilst thou art in the way with them, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. Well, that's modern day wisdom right there. Okay, here and now, 2019. Agree with that adversaries quickly, meaning a smooth answer turns away wrath. Okay, being pulled over by the police, being calm, cool and collective, and being nice might avert trouble from happening towards you. I say might because you never know. If you got a warrant, you know how it go. But if you don't have a warrant, you know what I'm saying, he might let you go with a warning if you were speeding. You know what I'm saying? How you talk to him is gonna respond. It's gonna be his response by his spirit. Okay, so that's what that means. Okay, agree with that adversary quickly, lest you take to the judge. You know, as a black man, you're guilty until proven innocent. You're not innocent until you proven guilty. It's the other way around. You are guilty till you prove yourself innocent. Period, point blank. And sometimes getting to the judge might be better off because sometimes the judge, jury, and executioner is the officer. Okay, and we see how that goes. All right. Wasn't no trial. It was an execution. Based on what? He was innocent. He was executed for his innocence. And that's how it goes down for a black man or black woman here in America. All right. Verse 26. Verily I say unto thee, thou shalt by no means come out thence till thou hast paid the uttermost farthing. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not commit adultery. But I say unto you, that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her has committed adultery with her already in his heart, meaning his mind. So, with that being said, women need to be loosely clothing, not to entice men that type of way. Okay, but the type of dress that you see pervasive in this society here in America do entice men. Okay, do cause friction, confusion. You know, I didn't want it to be taken that way. Well, we need to tone down that way because it will be taken that way by some men.
Yeah.
Okay.
Making them go off.
Right. You know, so that was verse 28. Verse 29. If thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body shall be cast into hell. So, what?
Is that actual law, or is that a
metaphor?
Yeah.
It's like a metaphor, but it can be literal depending on what that sin is.
What's he talking about? Pluck?
Like if it trouble you, pluck it out.
No,
Well, not that. It's not. It's whatever that sin is causing you to
go off. Like stop it.
But the Most High, see now, it can be the Most High that pluck out your eye. Okay, it could be the Most High that cause you to lose a limb. Okay, an arm, a leg. You know, there's whatever it takes to get you to understand that whatever sin that you're committing in the eyesight of the Most High that you are aware of, that you need to make it your first priority to stop it. Okay.
Yeah, whatever that sin was, he's just saying stop it, cast it out. It's better that you get rid of that sin than you just be dead.
Verse 30. And if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off. You should perish, and not that thy whole body shall be cast into hell. So we see the eye as the example, and we see the hand as that example. Okay, so Most High is not playing. If it takes you losing a limb for the Most High to bring you to the kingdom, that limb is gone.
Yeah.
If it takes for the Most High to cause you to lose an eye for you to make it to the kingdom, you're gonna lose that eye, whatever it takes. And be thankful that he's only taking a part of your body. He can take your life. Because there's gonna be a lot of them that ain't gonna make it. Okay, he's gonna snuff their whole body out. Okay, because sin has consumed their bodies. Okay, they've been given a reprobate mind to the point that they don't acknowledge their sin anymore.
What is a reprobate mind?
Reprobate mind is a mind that's is like a dog that turns back onto its own vomit, and it's a sinner that now justifies his sin as being right. Prime example is the whole gay church scene. Okay, you got a gay pastor with the first man being a man dressing like a woman. A reprobate mind is the black dude in the tux gown. That's a reprobate mind.
He just can't get right.
I'm not saying that he can't get right, but at this moment of time, that mind is cast, that his mind is a reprobate mind because he don't think he's doing nothing wrong.
Right.
A person that can get right is a person that at least acknowledges that he's doing wrong.
Right.
Okay, what they say in any type of recovery, the first part is what? To acknowledge that you have a problem. That's the first part. You got to acknowledge that you have a problem before you take any other step. Because that's first acknowledging that what? You got some sin, you got some issues that you got to work through. Okay? The alcoholic, he's got to first acknowledge that he has a drinking problem. The drug addict, he's got to first acknowledge that he has a drug problem. The homosexual, he has acknowledged that he has a problem with his sin. Okay? So a homosexual can repent, but he gotta acknowledge that he is committing sin before the Most High. The reprobate is the homosexual who doesn't think he's committing a sin, and he's a creature of God, that God made me this way. And I'm sent here to empower other men to find their true self. Okay. All right. Where you at now? Oh, where I'm at.
I'm about to say.
You're right.
Verse 30.
31. Okay. It has been said, whosoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a writing of divorcement. But I say unto you, that whosoever shall put away his wife, saying for the cause of fornication, cause her to commit adultery, whosoever shall marry her that is divorced committeth adultery. So this is Yahushua bringing in a new level of understanding, because in times past, it was when two flesh came together, they became one. That was for eternity. Okay, but Yahushua said you twisted Marsha's arm to give you this bill of divorce. But then even with that, you couldn't divorce for frivolous matters. She didn't bake the bread right, or she don't put butter on the cornbread after it comes out the oven. You know,
Yeah.
Trivial matters. You know, she don't fold. She don't iron the sheets.
Got the precept for that too.
All right, go ahead.
Genesis chapter 2, verse 23. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. Now, if this is bones of my bones, those bones belong to my bones.
Where you at? Say that again.
Genesis chapter 2, verse 23 and 24.
All right.
Now, if Adam said, this is now bone of my bones, it's a possession. These bones belong to me. All right. And flesh of my flesh. That meaning we became one now. You can't tear apart from that flesh. All right. She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one. So I got another precept that goes to that. And what he was talking about right here, it has not been from before. And Genesis 2 and 23 to 24 just solidifies that. Now we're going to go to Romans real quick. Salakia. Romans chapter 7, verse 2 to 3. For the woman which hath an husband is bound by the law to her husband, which goes to Genesis chapter 2, verse 23 to 24. And then going to Matthew 5 and what's that?
32.
32. Bound by the law to her husband so long as he liveth. But if the husband be dead, she is loose from the law of the husband.
Right, she's loose from that commitment to that man.
That covenant.
That contract.
So then,
but it has to also, I think part of the confusion here in America, men and women didn't enter into the proper covenant from the start. Okay. Either the woman never really committed to that man for the eternity, as the scriptures have said, or the man hasn't fully committed to the woman. And then the complication comes when children come involved. Now they're obligated. But 9 times out of 10, it because of fornication to begin with, the meeting of the man and woman, wherever that took place at, that was never really established.
Huh.
So what was supposed to be you know, a liaison or a brief encounter
One night stand.
right, you know, was supposed to be that turned
Through
into
the spirit, your answer, your question has been answered.
Oh, okay. You talking about earlier?
Nah, it was just like last week.
Okay. But anyhow, I lost it. The whole point is neither one had made that commitment. Okay. They never went in with that intention to make that commitment. So it was supposed to be friends with benefits. But then when children became involved, it became obligated to be more serious. But then that's when the true emotions come out, whether they want to be that type of relationship.
Okay.
Okay.
And I got another precept just piggybacking off of what he just said.
Lammy back.
Camming back, yeah.
Lammy.
What is it?
Lammy
back?
Yeah, we lambing.
This is Sirach, chapter 37, verse 12. But be continually with the holy man, whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord, whose mind is according to thy mind, and will sorrow with thee if thou shalt miscarry. So when he said that, whose mind is according to thy mind, if you're after the heart of the Most High, his mind, you want to find a man that is doing exactly the same thing. You don't want to go find a man that's in the world and think you're just getting over. You want somebody is weak and it's not in the spirit. And that's what a lot of women are looking for now in Israel. They're going to get a man that's weaker in the spirit where they can, manipulate him.
Because he don't know.
Yeah, because he don't know.
Okay. I was supposed to stop at 30, but I guess the spirit caused me to go a little further.
Questions needed to be answered through the spirit. We just answered the one sister's question, matter of fact.
Oh, okay.
In the post, then we answered Yashaya's question.
Okay.
Through the spirit, so
all right.
It just happened to be that way.
Let me see what else we got.
And then in 1 Samuel, we cut Jack.
Oh, yeah.
Saying with the Khazar Empire, with Amalek, we cut that through the spirit.
Right, that just came out in the reading. Okay. Verse 33. Again, ye have heard that it has been said by them of old time, thou shalt not forswear thyself, but thou perform unto Yahweh thy oaths. But I say unto you, swear not at all, neither by heaven, for it is Yahweh's throne, nor by the earth, for it is his footstool, neither by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king. Neither shalt thou swear by thy head, because thou canst not make one hair white nor black.
Ooh-wee! That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Can't even swear by your own head because you can't even make it white or black.
Right. So, man. But let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay, nay. For whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil. Ye have heard that it has been said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. That goes back in Deuteronomy, okay? But I say unto you, and in Exodus, but I say unto you, that ye resist not evil, for whosoever shall smite thee on thy right cheek, turn to him the other cheek. Now, let me clarify that. That's referring of your own nation.
Yeah, ain't the water for that.
Right, of your own nation, okay? And of those that are trying to exercise righteousness within your own nation, okay? That doesn't mean the average dude out here that, is out here just being wild and wicked, that you're supposed to not defend yourself. You're supposed to defend yourself. If he coming up swinging on you for no reason, okay, you have a duty to defend yourself. All right. Now you shouldn't be excessive. That goes into controlling your spirit. All right. But you do need to defend yourself appropriate to the action that's being brought against you. All right. So that's understanding on verses 38 and verse 39. Verse 40. And if any man will sue thee at the law and take away thy coat, let him have thy cloak also. In other words, if that's the only thing he has and you take it away from him, you need to give him your coat. Okay, Yahushua is talking about fairness and equity, showing compassion and kindness to your brother. Okay, he's doing bad. You're gonna take what little bit he has and not show compassion to him. And that's how Israel is now towards Israel.
And
You
give
know,
me Exodus 7 and 20 real quick. I just want to pre something up because of verse 33, a lot of people do get that misconstrued as well. You got that? I'm gonna read Matthew chapter 5 and verse 33. And again, ye have heard that it hath been said by them of old time, thou shalt not forswear thyself. What is he talking about? When you go into the Strong's Concordance into the Greek, is to swear falsely. All right, and what is that? Man, I swear to God, I'm gonna go to your birthday party next week, and don't go.
you had no intentions of going.
And read that real quick. Exodus 27.
Exodus chapter 7, verse 20.
Read a little loud about Kusha.
Exodus chapter 7, verse 20. And Moses and Aaron did so as the Lord commanded.
Exodus 20 and 27. Exodus 27. Salaki. You can go to the Greek Strong's 1964. All right. To commit perjury for swear oneself. All right. Go ahead.
To Exodus 20 and 27?
20 and 7.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 7. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain.
You take the Lord's name in lies. You try to put the Lord's name out there to justify you going to do something. Like, hey, I said the Lord's name is going to happen. Right? That's what they're doing. They're putting God's name out there just so you can believe him. That's what they're doing. So he said in Matthew chapter 5, verse 33, again, ye have heard that it hath been said by them of old time, thou shalt not forswear thyself, but thou shalt perform unto the Lord thy God. Man, I put it on me. You know, what would they say nowadays?
Oh, my mama.
I put it on my mama. I'm gonna go. I put that on my unborn child. I put it on everything I love.
On my grandmother.
Yeah, I put it on my dog right there, baby. I'm gonna go and don't go.
Man,
Stop that. All right? Stop that. But shall perform unto the Lord thy oaths. So if you say you're gonna do something, you gotta do it. It's against the law to say you're gonna do something and you don't do it. It is. And a lot of us in Israel.
well, you better off not saying it. If you ain't gonna do it, that kind of nips that.
Yeah, just kind of back.
But I guess, to be politically correct, and I guess some type of social etiquette, you mislead people into what you really don't want to do by saying you're going to do it.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, because you really don't want to do it, so
You mislead.
don't do it.
All right. Where we at? Let's see.
Is that the end of Matthew 5?
No, that's just the precept that I wanted to just to bring out, touch on.
I was supposed to end at 30.
Well, he was landing back in on verse 33.
And verse 34. On verse 34 of Matthew 5 and 34. But I say unto you, swear not at all, neither by heaven, for it is God's throne. Just at all. Stop swearing. All right.
Okay, I'm in verse 41. And whosoever shall compel thee to go a mile, go with him twins. Okay? Give to him that asketh thee, and from him that would borrow thee, turn not thou away. Okay? Ye have heard that it has been said, Thou shalt love thy neighbor and enemy.
Leviticus 19 and 18.
You got? Read it.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 18. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord. So let me start at verse 17 real quick. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Your neighbor is your people.
The neighbor is your people. But to deal with your enemies, which are not your people, this is what Yahweh Shai is giving us wisdom on. Okay, it says, but I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them that despitefully use you and persecute you, that ye may be the children of your Father, which is in heaven. For he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust. For if ye love them which love you, what reward have ye? Do not even the publicans the same? But if ye salute your brethren only, what do ye more than others? Do not even the publicans do so? Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is perfect in heaven. Which is in heaven is perfect. So, in other words, that's like heaping coals. Get that scripture, to heap coals upon your enemies.
Oh, I love that one right there. That is good wisdom right there, man. Because you store
that. You heaping judgment upon them, and you're turning away wrath against yourself from your enemies, because he has the advantage. Okay, he has the advantage. So this is using wisdom to avert certain situations that you might find yourself in. The office politics, okay, the corporate politics.
In the book of Proverbs 25, verse 21.
All right, that's the one where it says heap coals. All right, Proverbs what?
Chapter 25, verse 21.
Proverbs 25.
If thy enemy be hungry, give him bread to eat, and if he be thirsty, give him water to drink. For thou shalt heap coals of fire upon his head, and the Lord shall reward thee.
Because the Lord is going to reward you for the good that you do to those that who despitefully try to use you, persecute you, and harm you.
Sure.
Okay, so this is the wisdom.
Especially persecuting you behind your back and everything.
Right. The whole trying to get you fired, trying to backstab you, all that.
That's what I do to brothers at work. I know they be hating on me behind my back, so I gave another brother a key that I had made, for the break, because he didn't have a key. He was just knocking on the door to see if somebody was here. So I just gave him a key because I know he'd be backbiting, he'd be talking ish about me.
Right,
so
right.
I gave Issachar a key, but he was my own people. Even if he was an enemy, I would have probably done it just to heap coals of fire upon him so he can think like him.
As much as I talk about him, he still gave me a key. But then he'll think, I don't know that I'm talking about him.
Shit, I know it.
So I'm getting over. He might think that.
Yeah.
I'm getting over, but it don't work out that way in the end when you applying wisdom, pillars of wisdom. So that concludes this weekly Torah portion. We did pretty good. Torah portion this week, and he called Vayikra, roughly. We read from Leviticus 1, verse 1 to Leviticus, the 5th chapter, verse to the end. Next week, we'll pick up in Leviticus, the 6th chapter. The half Torah portion we read in 1 Samuel, the 15th chapter, verses 1 to the end. And then the Brit Kadash, we read in Matthew, the 5th chapter, verses 23, and we pretty much went to the end, which was verse 48. So with that, I say Amanium, one upon Jerusalem. Let's stand and face Jerusalem to close out. To all our Hebrew friends.
Hold on, do we have any comments in the commentary? All right. Royan Maglian, or what's his name? Jack Stevens. Is Jack Stevens still on there? Or did he erase all his comments?
He left
He left.
like a peasant. Yeah. Oh yeah, he erased all his comments.
Yeah, Rohan Maglian. The brother looks like a Persian. So you say we look like what are they? What are they called again? I know they Samoans, but Polynesians. So basically, he said we look like a bunch of Polynesians. Yeah. So does your mother. Okay.
Polynesian.
Yeah.
Oh, Hawaiians?
Yeah.
Let me take them off.
Oh, Hawaiians?
Oh,
Okay.
No, he's talking about modern day Persian.
want me to take them off?
He don't know who the
Take 'em
Persian
off.
is.
Yeah.
No, leave him alone. We need Rowan on there. All right. We like you being on there. Continue to be with us every week, okay?
Okay. Elihu. Okay. It is our duty to praise the Master of all, to ascribe greatness to the author of creation, who has not made us like the nations of the lands, nor places like the families of the earth, who has not made our portion like theirs, nor our destiny like all their multitude. For they worship vanity and emptiness and pray to a deity who cannot save. But we bow. But we bow and worship and thank the Supreme King of Kings, the Holy One. Blessed be He who extends the heavens and establishes the earth, whose throne of glory is in the heavens above, and whose power is present in the highest of heights. He is our Elohim, there is no other. Truly is our King, there is none else. As is written in the Torah, ye shall know and take to heart this day that Yahweh is our Elohim, in the heavens above and on the earth below.
Hallelujah.
There is no other. Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Aman, Shemai, Yasha'Allah, Allahayinawa, Yahweh, Akkad, Wahaka, Af Yahweh, Allahayika, Bakal Lababka, Wamakal Napashka, Wamakal Ma'adka. Hero Israel, Yahweh, our power is one, and thou shalt love thy Elohim with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thy heart, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and thou shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thy house, when thou walkest by the way, when thou liest down, when thou risest up, and thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thy hand, and they shall be as frontlets between thy eyes, and thou shalt write them upon the posts of thy house and on thy gates. Bashem, Yahushua, Hamashiach, Aman. Hallelujah. 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 Bashem, Yahushua, Hamashiach, Aman. Okay, Madium. 10 Commandments.
I got that from the book, how they do it, but that was nice.
Okay, the 10 Commandments. Anya.
Anya.
Let's try it again. Anya,
Anya,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Alahayika,
Alahayika,
Asherah,
Asherah,
Hawatazah,
Haratazah,
Afkika,
Afkika,
Maratazah,
Maratazah,
Matazayah,
Matzayim,
Mabaitha,
Mabayah,
the Ibadam,
Ibadam,
La'a,
La'a,
Yahaya,
Yahaya,
Laka,
Laka,
Aharyam,
Aharyam,
Arkaryam,
Arkaryam,
Alpanya,
Alpanya,
La'a,
La'a,
the Aisha,
Aisha,
Laka,
Laka,
Pasal,
Pasal,
Wala'a,
Wala'a,
the Ibadam,
Ibadam,
La'a,
La'a,
the
the
Lakwaka,
Lakwaka,
Shem Yahweh,
Shem Yahweh,
Bashawa,
Bashawa,
Zakah,
Zakah,
Hayawam,
Hayawam,
Hashabah,
Hashabah,
Lakwadashwa,
Lakwadashwa,
Kabah,
Kabah,
Abaka,
Abaka,
wa Amaka,
Amaka,
La'a,
La'a,
the Ratazah,
Ratazah,
La'a,
La'a,
the Na'a,
Na'a,
La'a,
La'a,
the Ganah,
Ganah,
La'a,
La'a,
the Aina,
Shakur,
Shakur, La'a,
La'a,
the Kamad,
Kamad,
Call, Asherah,
Asherah,
Lara'ika.
Laraika,
First greatest commandment. Hear, O Israel,
Hear, O Israel,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Alahayim,
Alahayim,
Yahweh,
Yahweh
is one,
is one,
and thou shalt love,
and thou shalt love
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
thy Alahayim,
Alahayim,
with all thy heart,
with all thy heart,
with all thy soul,
with all thy soul,
with all thy might.
with all thy might.
Okay, the second greatest commandment, Leviticus 19:18. Raika. La'a,
La'a,
the Qum,
Wala'ah,
Wala'ah, the Tar,
the Tar,
Af, Banya,
Banya,
Ainka,
Ainka,
Wa,
Wa,
Hahapta,
Hahapta,
La'araika,
La'araika,
Kamawaka,
Kamawaka,
Anya,
Anya,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
thou shalt not,
but thou shalt not
avenge, nor bear, any grudge
against the children
of thy people,
but
thou shalt love,
but thou shalt love
thy neighbor,
as
thyself.
thyself.
I am Yahweh,
I am Yahweh,
thy Elohim,
thy Elohim,
Bashem,
Bashem,
Yahushua,
Yahushua,
Hamashiach,
Hamashiach,
Aman.
Aman.
Okay, Exodus 20, verses 2 to verse 18.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee
I am the Lord.
thy power.
Yeah, that's cool. Or Elohim.
I am the Lord thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other God before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, so I, the Lord thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy power in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all that it is rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy power giveth thee. Thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
Bashem,
Bashem,
Yahushua,
Yahushua,
Hamashiach,
Hamashiach,
Aman.
Aman.
Memorial of the woman. Now when Yahushua was in Bethlehem in the house of Simon the leper, they came unto him, and a woman had an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for 300 pence, 1 year's wages, and given to the poor. When Yahushua understood it, he said unto them, why trouble ye the woman? For she has wrought a good work upon me. For ye are the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. For in that she has poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall preach in the whole world, there shall also this that this woman has done be told for memorial of her. Bashem, Yahushua,
Hamashiach,
Aman,
Yahweh,
Bashem,
Yahushua,
the water,
Kaya,
Hashabah,
Hashabah.
the water,
The water.
Kaya,
Kaya.
Amafka,
Amafka.
the water,
The water.
Kaya,
Kaya.
Hashabah,
Hashabah.
the water,
The water.
Kaya,
Kaya.
Amafka,
Amaka.
Bashem,
Bashem.
Yahushai,
Yahushai.
Hamashiach,
Mashiach.
Aman.
Aman.
Okay. What? Okay. Madium. Barak. Yabarakakam Yahweh Bashem Yahushai.
Yabarakam Yahweh Shim Yahushai.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Hallelujah.
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 Yani Matah.
Yeah.
Turn it for that's just the command. Drop you along. Just this. Okay. Amadium. Barak. Yahweh Shema Thumb.
Yahweh
Shema Adam.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Hallelujah.
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 Okay, so that concludes this week's portion. Thank everybody for being online. Spread the word. We do the Torah portion every week. Watch as well as pray. Prepare yourself physically, mentally, and spiritually. Spiritually, we're doing that every week with going over the Torah portion. Okay. Spiritually, we studying in the law, Torah. During the week, you're supposed to be going over different portions and understanding in the law and other parts that make up being a Hebrew Israelite. Okay, the lifestyle, the culture, the wearing of your fringes and your border of blue. Okay, women dressing appropriately and men dressing appropriately. Okay, and all that's a part of being a Hebrew Israelite. All right. So with that, we say peace. Enjoy the rest of your Shabbat, and we say Kwam Yashala.